afternoon, class. Welcome to business studies class. Today in our business studies class we'll be moving on to lesson 4, and then the topic that we are going to be treating under lesson 4 for today is commerce. Yes, our topic for today is commerce. Before we move on to our new topic, like I rightly said, which is commerce, let us quickly do a revision of what we did during the last class on communication. Yes, can somebody tell me what we mean by communication? Yes, Shade, yes. Very good, clap for yourself. Yes, communication can simply be said as a process of passing information, idea, feelings, knowledge from one place to another, or from one person to another. Yes, can somebody tell me some of the importance of communication? Yes, Sule Adiola. Very good, very good, very good. Well done. Keep it up. Yes, Timileyin. Excellent. Very good, very good. Some of the importance of communication is that it helps in reducing the rate of traveling from one place to another. Yes, it also helps in reducing the rate of accidents on our roads. Yes. Yes. Lastly, can somebody tell me the means of communication? Means of communication. Yes, Musharafa. Very good, very good. Yes, under the means of communication, we have two major divisions of means of communication, and they are the olden day means of communication, and the second one is the modern day means of communication. All these are what we discussed in our last class on communication. Today, like I've rightly said, we'll be moving on to a new topic, and that topic is commerce. Under this topic, commerce, our objective at the end of this lesson is that one, we should be able to define commerce. Yes, we should be able to define commerce. The second objective that we are expected to achieve under this topic, commerce, is that we should also be able to explain the importance of commerce. Yes, explain the importance of commerce. And the third objective that we are expected to achieve after this lesson is that we should be able to list and explain the division of commerce. These are the three objectives that we are expected to achieve at the end of this lesson, commerce. Let's start by looking at the meaning of commerce. The meaning of commerce. When we are talking about commerce, commerce is the exchange of goods and services on a large scale. Commerce is the exchange of goods and services on a large scale. No country can live or survive without commerce, because goods and services are essential to our daily living, and if they are not available, or if they are produced by the producer and they are not well distributed through the help of commerce, automatically life will not be comfortable. That is why if you look at the definition, it states that commerce is the exchange of goods and services on a large scale. That now takes us to the importance of commerce. Importance of commerce. There we want to look at the role that commerce plays, either to our personal life or to our country or society as a whole. And one of the role that commerce plays in our society, or to us as a consumer, or to our country, is that it helps to link the producer and the consumer. That is, linking them means bringing the producer and the consumer very close. The distance between the producer and the consumer most of the time is very far, because particularly to those of us that lives in cities, if you observe, hardly will you see industries around us or production center around us. But most of the things that we consume within the city, most of them are being produced most of the time in rural area. So it is through the help of commerce that allows for middlemen, that is wholesalers and retailers, to participate in the channel of distribution. They make sure that the goods that are produced by the producer gets to the consumer who needs them on time. The second importance of commerce is that it helps in creating employment opportunities. A lot of employment opportunities can be created through the help of commerce, like producer, wholesalers who buy in bulk and sell in smaller units, or even as a retailer by buying in smaller units and selling in smaller units to consumers. All these are some of the employment or job opportunities that can be created by commerce. The third one is that it helps to make international trade possible. Yes, international trade is very essential for the development of all countries in the world. No country can easily boast of being able to produce everything that it needs within its country, meaning that through the help of commerce, international trade takes place, whereby whatever you produce in your country, after taking the ones that you need in your country, the remaining one can easily be sold to other countries that need them, and in turn you get money for your country, and you also get goods that might be needed in your own country. The fourth one is that commerce helps to improve the standard of living. Yes, when I say the standard of living, I am trying to say that the quality of life that people live can be improved by commerce. When you look at the quality of life, it is an essential part of human survival. If you look at our beautiful country Nigeria, you observe that yes, Nigeria is not really a producing country, or better still, majorly most of the things that we make use of, like cars, like televisions, and so on and so on, most of them are not being produced within our country. But because commerce is a very essential part of our life, it makes it possible for us to buy those things that we need from another country and make use of them within our country, thereby improving the quality of our life. And the fifth one is that commerce helps to satisfy human wants. All these are some of the importance that commerce plays in our lives as an individual or in our country as a whole. That now takes us to the division of commerce. Yes, division of commerce. Commerce can be divided into two parts. Commerce can be divided into two parts, and they are one, trade, and the second one is ace to trade. I'll come again. I said commerce can be divided into two parts. The first one is trade, and the second one is ace to trade. The diagram you are looking at on the board will show you a better explanation of what we mean by the division of commerce. Let's now look at them one after the other. The first one, like I rightly said, is trade. Trade, yes. When we are talking about trade, trade can be said as an act of buying and selling of goods and services to satisfy human wants and to make profits. I will come again. I said trade can be said as an act of buying and selling of goods and services to satisfy human wants and to make profits. Yes, that now takes us to the division of trade. That now takes us to the division of trade. Trade can be divided into two major parts. Trade can be divided into two major parts, and the two major parts that we can divide trade into are home trade and foreign trade. Home trade and foreign trade. Now, if you look at the diagram in front of us there, under home trade we have two major divisions, which are wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade and retail trade. And when we are talking about wholesale trade is a type of trade that allows us to buy in large quantity from the producer and resell them in smaller quantity to the retailer. While on the other hand, Retail trade is a type of trade that makes it possible to buy in smaller quantity from the wholesaler and sell in smaller quantity to the final consumer. Both wholesale trade and retail trade are both under home trade. And when we are talking about home trade, like I have directly said, I said it is a trade that takes place within a particular country. For instance, any trade that takes place within Nigeria, for instance, trade that takes place between Lagos, Ibadan, Oyo, Kano, Kaduna, Adamawa, Jos, and so on and so forth. All these are home trade. The second type of trade is foreign trade. Foreign trade. When we are talking about foreign trade is a type of trade that takes place between two or more countries. Foreign trade is a type of trade that takes place between two or more countries. Another foreign trade, we have three major divisions under foreign trade, which are import trade, export trade, and entry port trade. I will come again. Under foreign trade, we have import trade, export trade, and entry port trade. Yes, when we are talking about import trade is a type of trade that takes place whereby a particular goods is being imported or brought into a particular country. Import trade is a type of trade that takes place whereby a particular goods is being brought into a particular country. For instance, Nigeria is one of those that imports electronics, meaning that most of the electronics that we use within Nigeria, most of them are being brought in from countries like UK, US, China, France, Japan, and so on into Nigeria. So any goods that is brought into Nigeria from another country is under import trade. The second type of trade under foreign trade is called export trade. When we are talking about export trade is a trade whereby Nigeria produces crude oil or agricultural product within the territory of our country, and after removing the one that we are going to make use of in our country, we now decide to resell the remaining one to another country, meaning that export trade occurs whereby goods that is produced within a country are sold outside to another country. Then the last one is called entry port trade. When we are talking about entry port trade is a combination of import trade and export trade, whereby a goods that is brought into another country is simultaneously exported to another country. All these are what we are expected to learn under trade. That is where we are going to stop for this class. During our next class, we shall now move on to aids to trade, where we are going to look at the meaning of aids to trade and all those activities that we categorize as aids to trade. If you have any questions for me, you can send your questions to my mail box, june1518@gmail.com. That is where we are going to stop for today. Bye for now.